Joining us now on the line is Eric Adelson with Yahoo Sports to talk about World Cup soccer. Boy, I tell you what, people here in this country were really just going crazy over all this. So give us the lay of the land. How does it look for the United States going forward now?
Well, it's a huge accomplishment, and that's something we all need to absorb and realize, because getting out of the group stage, especially this group stage, the group of death, is a big deal. Historically, it's a big deal. I mean, this is not a traditional soccer power, so it's great. Now, going forward, it's tough. Belgium is very tough. That's probably, if I'm naming the teams that I don't want the U.S. to play, Belgium is definitely in the top five.
You know, you said that earlier. You said that this is sort of maybe the sleeper of the whole group, isn't it?
Yeah, I could see them winning everything. I mean, I would certainly pick a South American team just because it's very hard to win away from your own continent. But there are just not many teams that I don't think Belgium can beat. And they're young, but they're so deep. And the other thing is that they are rested. They were through early. They weren't tested. They didn't have to be tested in their third game. They have traveled the least of all the teams, and the U.S. has traveled the most of all the teams. And the U.S. games have been grueling, all three of them, and the conditions have been brutal. This is just a really tough. Also the matchup. The goaltender for Belgium is excellent. His defense is very good. It's tough, but I mean, to Jurgen Klinsmann's credit, he's a very good tactician, and he has narrowed the margin between his team, which isn't as talented as the other teams, and the teams he's played. So it's not impossible, but this is not a team that I would want to play.
I've read a lot of analysis here, Eric Adelson, about the difference between South American soccer and European soccer. And this has not been a very good World Cup for the Europeans when you see powerhouses like Italy, Spain, and England not doing so well.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is usually how it goes. I guess the home continent usually wins. Spain won away from its continent. I think in 2010, I think that was the first European team to do so. But there's something extra here going on in this tournament. The ball is much friendlier to the shooters, and for reasons we can go into if you want. But basically, it's more of an offensive tournament. And in Europe, they because of the weather and just because of the style that's won over the last several years, they play a more defensive type of play.
Which is also the American style, is it not?
It is. And that's why it gets a little dicey going forward for the Americans, because they just don't have that superstar score. We saw that yesterday. And I just think you have to have, because of the way the ball is and because the climate here in South America where I am is so friendly to offense that I feel like you have to have a Messi, you have to have a Neymar, and the Americans just don't have that.
How is the American team taking yesterday's results? Because, I mean, to me, you look at Germany pounded Portugal 4-0, and we held Germany to a 1-0 score, which is obviously a very, very tight score, and we were able to keep Germany in check where their offense went nuts against Portugal. Do you think the American team sort of see yesterday's results as a positive?
That's a really good point, and I'm glad you raised that because Germany let all three of the other teams in this group of death had portions of games where it kind of got wild and there was some chaos. Even Germany, I was at the Germany-Ghana game, and even Germany kind of let the door swing open, and Ghana was running up and down the field, and that made Germany uncomfortable. Portugal, yesterday I was at that game, and they were doing the same on both sides. So this offensive type of play hasn't really affected the Americans. I think that's a great thing, and it shows you how disciplined and controlled they are. It's a credit to Klinsmann, but also those players that even when they haven't played great, the Americans, and they've made mistakes, they've still stuck to their plan of holding in the opposing offense. I'm not sure how well they can do that going forward, but that's really a great sign for the program because they're going to always play teams that have these scores, these snipers, and it shows that they have at least the right mindset and the right strategy to slow them down.
All right, so you're down there in South America. You're watching it firsthand. We understand that there are a lot of Americans are there. Talk a little bit about how they were doing and how they were taking all this.
Oh, I mean, they love it. It's funny. I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan. That's where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
And I got to the airport at early, like 6 a.m. yesterday to fly to Brasília for the Portugal-Ghana game. And waiting online is Americans, and they're going to Recife. They're day tripping to Recife, which is like a 2-hour flight, very expensive. All the domestic flights are very expensive during the tournament. And there's a 6'4" guy from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he has all the face paint on, and he's red, white, and blue everywhere. And his girlfriend said that this guy woke up at 4 in the morning dancing and singing "My Country to the Thee." That's just one example of how crazy these American fans are, and so happy too, because usually with sports, whether it's the Redskins or your favorite team, you wake up and there's nerves and there's high expectations, and you don't want to get crushed. But here it's almost like house money, where these fans are delighted to be in Brazil, having a great time, and they feel like the way the U.S. is playing and moving forward is a bonus. So it's rare that I've seen American fans as happy as I've seen them the last.
Well, and even here at DuPont Circle was packed yesterday. They had big screens at DuPont Circle all across the country. It's just nuts.
Yep. All right, Eric Adelson.
Yeah, it's amazing to see.
Who knew you were a fellow Wolverine? Go blue, my friend. We'll get some Coney, some Buddy Pizza, and some Faygo Red Pop someday.
Oh, geez. Boy, speaking my language, I miss it so much. Thanks.